We are here with Aimen Al Hosni. He's from Oman, one of my all-time favorite countries, and I've been going there for 25 years, and I just see the beauty of Oman, the heritage of Oman. But now, what we are celebrating is some of the growth and development and the transformation of Oman connecting to the future. And the man who's helping us to articulate that story is Aimen, who is the CEO of Oman Airports. He's here on the sidelines of the Harvard Business School Crossroads conference, and he is with us talking to us about everything Oman, everything airports, and everything technology and transformation. Aimen, welcome. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me here in this amazing gathering. As you know, we've been through a very tough and strong roller coaster.
Yep.
Where we had to open Salalah Airport in 2015, Muscat and Duqm in last year, 2018. Yes. And we've changed the whole ball game of the aviation industry.
Yes.
When it comes to airports. Nowadays, airports are like shopping malls.
Yep.
They're no longer like, just a bus stop or a strip of runway and that's it.
Yeah.
So, passengers now, they don't only buy the ticket. If they're going transit in somewhere, they ask about the airport.
Yeah.
And they see what kind of services that the airport will offer.
Yeah.
So you just name it, the cleanliness of the toilets, they go even that much.
100%.
The internet connectivity, the restaurants, the price of the coffee, everything that they offer, the airport offers.
I've had the pleasure of going through the airport a few times, and you're right. I mean, it's this omnichannel experience from a retail space, which I was actually finding there, which was very warm. But as I said in my presentation when I mentioned Oman, is how do we capture the soft side, the culture and the heritage of Oman, and have this beautiful blend and balance and harmony of the future, but also stay grounded in history and culture. How do you balance that? Or do you balance that?
Well, if you saw the airport, and I'm talking about Muscat Airport now.
Yes.
We tried to actually blend it with the culture and with the the surrounding of Oman. Like if you go to Pier A, you will see it covered with the blue color because it's facing the sea. Mm-hmm. Pier B, it's actually directed to the east of Oman, towards the desert, and it's the colors of that pier is yellow.
Yeah.
And the Pier C is green because it's going to the farms and greenery. If you walk in the aisles of the airport, you will see rocks, and those rocks, they actually gives the reflection of the wadis that we have in Oman. Okay. So we tried to blend the building of the airport with the heritage and the history of Oman.
Yeah. I mean, Oman was there since the beginning of time, especially places like Salalah, for example, and to draw that element of culture. So for me, an airport is an airport which is functionally efficient, which I am sure you are, but for me to have a memory and for me to have a desire, I would love to feel those things and smell those things, the oud and things like that, to get a really good feeling from that. And that to me is a differentiator. So that's the reason I was asking this question, how do we blend that? Yeah.
Well, see what we do in the whole year. We try to celebrate every event. Like for example, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Diwali, we celebrate, the Muslim, events. Once one of our staff, he gave an idea of having the Luban, because the Luban is Omani product. And it actually has like the Luban is the frankincense.
Yes.
So he started it, and it triggers the fire alarm. So we had to stop it.
I see. Fair enough. You have to be careful of these things too.
Yeah.
Now you spent over $1.8 billion, which is a chunk of change when it comes to Oman.
You've done your homework.
I have. And at that point, I mean, how will you measure? I know it's a government-based asset, so you are measuring it through return on the benefit for the people. But what are the ROIs? Is that the ROI, or are there other things that the return on investment?
Well, the company is owned by the government,
Yes.
but we work on a very professional private aspects.
Yeah.
The shareholder is at the end of the year, he comes and question us as management on the net profit, on the contribution. And the way we work is we do like surveys, we do like, lots of questionnaires. We try to get feedback from our customers.
Yeah.
We make sure that the customer have a smile at the end of the day. In every service that we give, actually there is like a rating pod to rate each and every service that the passenger gets.
Right.
Whether it is after the check-in counters, security, immigration, food and beverage, duty-free.
Yeah.
So we work as a purely private sector company. And believe it or not, with this huge building, with having 100% cost extra from last year because of the big new Muscat Airport building,
Right.
we're still profitable.
Brilliant.
Yes.
If you move forward to the year, let's say 2025, and you look back, what are the top 2-3 things you would have achieved by then?
Top 20. Today we've achieved number 18. Next year our target is top 10 in Muscat and top 3 in Salalah. There's another target which is a bit hush, but I think we can achieve, where today we're managing 4 airports. In year 2022 we should manage 10 airports. So we're working hard on doing organic and non-organic growth. We're also planning on building the airport city around the airport, whether in Muscat or Salalah or Duqm or Sahar. And we would like to contribute to the economy and to the leisure and to the tourism sector of the country with those new cities. Like for example, if the city has 5-star hotels and have overspill in that offerings,
Yeah.
we don't compete, we complement. We do 4 stars or 3 stars even. So what we would like to do in those cities is to complement the cities we're in, not to compete.
You must be creating a lot of employment, both directly and indirectly. How is that impacting the community and the society?
Well, we have the ICV, the in-country value, and we have the community service, and we have certain aspects which the government is actually waiting for us to deliver. One of them is the employment. In the airport today we have 30,000 employees in Muscat Airport only by itself. If you go to other airports, we have 5,000 Salalah, we have 2,000 each in Duqm and Sahar, and we're actually expecting, when we build the airport cities, to double and triple those numbers within the next 4 years.
So as we move forward now, on a more micro level, what are the top 2-3 things you're looking at over the next, say, 12 to 24 months in terms of the incremental shifts and how you are working towards delivering those more early specific hits?
Yeah, we're looking thoroughly on artificial intelligence. We would like to be the smartest airports, in the region and maybe in the world. This is one element that we're looking at. The second element is to make Muscat not only as a hub, but as a final destination for passengers.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day we have lots of offerings. Our culture is a good offering, our heritage, our mountains, beaches. So I think the next stage is to make sure that we have like a final destination as Oman.
Do you have a large cargo component associated as a hubbing area, or is it much more to have the physical passenger?
Today we're our focus more on passengers than cargo. But I think in the airport city that I just talked about, We will have a free zone area. We will have a cargo zone. Today, our cargo have increased from 2017 to 18, 35%. I think it's a big potential for us to grow. I think Oman have done a good decision when they have actually linked airports to seaports. So like Sohar have a port, a main port, and an airport next to it. Likewise, Duqm and Salalah. So we're trying to do like sea air or air sea cargo, and we're working on it, and it looked like it's picking up a lot nowadays.
Because I call cargo the invisible passenger.
Yes.
And that is actually quite important.
Exactly.
And the other one is that Oman's location is so blessed because you're right next to the Indian Ocean, you have the Sohar port. So the transshipment sort of business could become a very interesting new business model. Now, moving forward, what are the kinds of things that, no, let me go back on that. Which airports or which part of technology or experience inspired you? Was it technology? Was it experiences in, I don't know, lovely airports in Seoul or Changi or Dubai or parts? What inspired you, I mean, when you were thinking through that initial thought process?
Well, airports, it's a different, animal by itself. It's too complex. And I don't know what to say, but fortunately or unfortunately, I love to work under pressure.
Which is me.
And
yes, I realize that.
And airports.
That's why I'm like this.
And airports is actually like that.
Yeah.
It's always keeping you on your toes.
Yeah.
To go back to your question, what we do? We don't say like we opened our new airport, Salalah, Duqm, and Muscat, and that's it. No, we go beyond. If you know, last week I was actually in Istanbul looking at their airport before they open.
Yes.
To just see what have they done and we didn't do,
right.
And probably go back and try to leverage from that. Likewise in Dubai and all other airports. Nowadays you need to serve, all kind of, taste, all kind of passengers. You have the elderly, you have the mid-range, and the young. Believe it or not, what I do, once every quarter, I sit with my young team who are like 25 years and below, and sit with them and just have an open discussion and see what do they like, what do they want.
Sure.
For the elderly, I know because I represent them. So,
funny you say that because I have created what I call youth boards, not just as a focus group, because what you're talking about is a focus group.
Yes.
What I'm talking about is a completely empowered young advisory board with an average age of below 25.
Nice.
And then they report directly to you or to the chairman or together like that. Because if they report to the other board, they'll say, young people, CSR project, we look after them. No. Let them also report directly to you and let this board report together, and then you are the integrator of that. And what that starts doing is changing the dynamic of the feedback that you're getting, because spend money on at least 50% of the money, because these people will represent the future. And the older generation will represent compliance, can represent experience, represent engineering, and so on. And the young will represent the digital, they're digital natives. And they are also engaged in user experiences and so on. So I think it's both, and you would be amongst the earliest adopters of this globally, which could be a nice, new thing.
No, I like the idea actually.
The watch company Tag Heuer, they have a youth board. How old do you think is the average age of the youth board of Tag Heuer? Just guess.
18.
Very close, 17.
Wow.
So you have a 69-year-old CEO and a average age of 17, because they said the watch business is going through an existential threat.
Yeah.
The 55-year-old CFO doesn't have a clue. The 17-year-old will decide where to spend the money.
Yeah.
The 19-year-old is to decide where to spend
totally
the money.
Agree.
And I think that's the kind of shift that's happening, because if you've created a new dynamic environment, these young people will help you to drive that.
Totally agree.
So is there anything that that you would like to speak about that I may have missed in my questions? Any comment, any contribution, so that then we can wrap up?
Lately, in the last 5 years, what made us different from other airports is like we've done every read that you can think of. We did, restructuring, redoing our policies, procedures, HR manuals, everything that you think of, we've done to make sure that we bring more talent, we attract talent, and we be different as an airport industry. I think what we need to focus on now is to make sure that we listen to our customers. And when I say customers, it doesn't mean only passengers. It means like airlines, concessionaires inside the airport, and everyone else. And we see what actually they would like to have in the coming future. I think the future is in technology nowadays. When they say that jobs will drop from the market, I think yes, some will do, but there will be lots of new invented jobs, and probably you'll be at home and you'll invent an app and you'll be a billionaire or a millionaire. And this is what happened with Facebook and Twitter and those kind of gadgets that we're using right now.
Great. So Oman, as I said, was one of my favorite countries in the world to visit. It's a beautiful place, and you created a nice jewel in that beautiful environment.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you, inshallah, the next time I'm there.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.